Good evening. It's 5 minutes away from the top of the hour, from 6 o'clock here on a very cold Friday night, and we're here for another match, yet another match in this year's VP4 2020 World Straight Pool Championships. One lost side, race to 150, and it's going to be between Bedhead and Tommyue. Should be a good match. We've got a few minutes. Good evening. We've got a few minutes before we start, so what I was going to do is have a quick look at the bracket.
Hi, Hugh.
Earlier on this afternoon, yesterday, good afternoon or good evening, Bill. Yes, last night I thought I would be home to see the match that was due to start this afternoon, but I forgot it was on until 2 o'clock this afternoon when this match was about to start. But I didn't miss anything because I can't find it now for looking at it. That's the match we're going to watch right now. But the match that was going to be this afternoon at 2 p.m. my time was it was where the hell is it gone now? Yeah, it was Fast Eddie and Fieldrish. I think that's the name, but Fieldrish looks as if he's a no-show. So Fast Eddie got advanced. I'm assuming Fast Eddie was here, but anyway, that's what it looks like. So I didn't miss anything there. So just to recap, the match we're going to watch in a few minutes is the one between Bedhead and Tommyue. We've also got a couple other fixtures on the bracket. We have Snake Eyes and McClarkey, and they're set for tomorrow afternoon at 2:30, and I should be home in time for that one. And tonight, in a few days' time, that's another one that's appeared. Fast Eddie in LS3. That's January the 12th. Also in the afternoon. And what was the other one? We have Popman and Dirty Harry tonight. They're going to start an hour later at 7 p.m. So if they're still playing when the Bedhead match is finished, we'll go in and watch the end of that one. And I think that is about it on the winner. On the one loss side. On the winner's side, I don't think there's been any change there. We've still got the match between Semi Pro and Mooncake tomorrow night at 7 p.m. I'll be there for that one, and of course the winner of that one's going to play Hazard. And then further up, I don't think there's any change. We've got Cobra still waiting to get a time and a match set for, a schedule set for the match with Stubb. And finally, I think we have the Albinario Larry match, and that's about it. So we are then going to have to wait until the one loss side fixes itself, because obviously if any of those matches here go ahead before any of the matches over the other side further on, we're going to have a wee bit of a delay. So that's all to come. In the meantime, we're all set. If we can get this thing to change, we're all set for the Bedhead match. Bedhead was here. Tommyue was in warming up. Bedhead's still in away mode, as I think he has been. And Tommyue was here. Oh, there he is. He's in the room practicing. So we have got about maybe the best part of a minute before the room goes up. And I think it could be another close one, because earlier on in the tournament, was it not Bedhead? Who the hell was Tommyue playing that he got a good run to win the match? Because that's got me a bit confused. Wait a minute. What match was it he was playing? How did Bedhead end up in the one loss side? Let's have a look.
Spill.
Oh yeah, it was
Tommy beat Acero.
It was Mooncake. That's what it was. It was Mooncake that had that good finish against Bedhead. He ran out to win the match. That was a pretty good match, that one. I was getting mixed up there. Yeah. Anyway, it does have the promise to be a fairly decent match, this. Let's hope they can get some form. Right, the room is up. Both players are in. They're probably lagged off. Oh no, we're just about to go. Well, I don't know who that is on the far side, but the queue hasn't loaded yet. But the one in the bottom has won the lag, and that's Bedhead. So Tommyue is going to be breaking off. Let's see if he's worked out a break. He doesn't look as if he's trying to come behind a pack, so he looks as if he's going to just do a conventional break. You've always got to hope that one ball comes back to the pack. Now, has the cue ball gone far enough? That's actually not bad. That's probably one of the better breaks in the conventional style, because you're always at danger of leaving something on. Very big danger of leaving something on. And that's turned out pretty good. One of the best so far. It is a risky break because you're almost guaranteed to leave a shot. And if Bedhead's going to go thin here, he needs to go extremely thin, because he's more than likely going to scratch off this 5 ball. And he can't go to the bottom rail because obviously the 9 ball's there, so he might just roll into the pack here and lose a point. That's probably the safest move. Well, he's trying to use the pack as cover, and once again, not a bad result. Although, well, I thought he might be able to see the 9 there to cut it, but he can't. Nope, that'll do. He should be happy with that one.
Semi-Prof 4. He I am a little bit of ones.
Good evening. Oh, Tommyue's had a quick disconnect and a rejoin. I hope that's not a sign of things to come. Now, is Bedhead going to be tempted here? Because he's going to smack them all open off this shot if he's going to play the cut, but he's not going to be enticed. Stubb would go for that. Now, what about that 1 ball? Now look at that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ball combo. 2, 7, 15, onto the 12, onto the 1, and that 1 ball is going to go, I think. Now, is Tommyue going to take it, because he's eyeing it up? My sixth sense tells me he's eyeing it up. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ball combo. It may well go in off the jaw. I think he's got to hit it fairly soft. I think if he smacks this, it won't go. I think he's got to hit it just a medium pace if he's going to take it on.
Semi-Prof 4. White's JN.
Well, he's still called the 1 ball, so it's a 5 ball combo he's definitely going for. Now, don't tell me he's disconnected and we just don't know it yet. I think he has, because he's just looking straight down the table.
Mr. M. High SP.
Ah, well, he didn't play the 5-ball combo. He went straight down. But it worked anyway. I thought he was going to go from the other side. So that's the first point on the board. 5 minutes into the match. That's why you've always got to double check that back before you decide you're going to shoot for anything that might be set.
Stephen Lee. Great opener.
Now, does he want to risk stunning up to the 6 and the 11 there? Is that the 11 next to the 8 and the 3? I don't know whether the angle's good enough, but he might be able to dig in and stun up to those, and he'll be on the 14 anyway. No.
Der ist Nomad. I'll read.
Maybe he didn't have enough, what do you call it, enough angle. Welcome everybody. I think this only went in the schedule earlier today, this match. I never saw it yesterday. And we've got the Potman match in an hour's time. I think there was an angle on that ball along the bottom rail there. It might have been worthwhile stunning it in firm and just trying to get a hit on those 3 balls there. He would have always had the 14 as a backup ball. Is he going to try it off the 4? No. Now does that 13 go? Well, nothing goes there, so it's going to have to be the 2 ball. And he's got a problem building here. The big problem is if he gets the 2, and he's going to obviously be on, I think that's a 12 down the side rail there. Yes, it is. So, but when he gets that, he's going to have to just roll through and try and play for the 5. I don't see an awful lot of other options available. That's the only shot he's going to have. And then he may well be able to take the 8 up the table if he can get an angle on that 8 where he can run through and run into those. That would be a shot. And he might be able to just brush off the 15. I don't know whether he's got too much angle or whether he can brush through and just use that 15, because he should be on the 15 at worst if he doesn't hit this too hard. But if he can get a position on that 8 ball, well, that's gone all wrong for him. He's now got nothing. He can skim off the 6, a light feather in the 6, and he can go for distance. Bedhead would be left a cut in the 8. There's definitely nothing on. So Bedhead has his bait there if he wants it. He could even take the 13 as well. I think he can see enough of that. But the danger with that shot is he might just clip that 8, and he might end up going perilously close to that corner pocket. Well, he hasn't called anything specific, so presuming he's going for the 8 ball, Now if he's going to try and pot this dead weight and come up the table and leave himself on the 13 or leave a cut in the 15 after this, ideally he wants to try and, if he can get up the table, take out that 13. Well, he was never going to do that at that pace, but Tommyue certainly can now, because that's perfect. Nice little angle. He may well just try and gently pot the 3 and just run into them, just to open them. He doesn't need to blast this. He's going to hit them. It's ended up still a wee bit awkward. A little testy cut in the 8 ball. It should be on the 15. If he hits it hard enough though, he could end up in the 6, but where's the break ball? Is it going to be the 11? That's 6 ball, I think. Let's have a look at that. The 6 ball's right at the top of the pack. It's not a bad shot either. Not a bad shot if you played it from this side. If you somehow ended up there to cut it, you're going to hit the pack. Now this is where he's going to have to decide. He's got the angle to go up for the 6. He's got to get good on it though, so he can get a good shot on this 11. It looks so simple, this. It can very easily go wrong. Well, it's going to be the 6, so he's got to get, if he's going that way and that way, he's got
Steve
to,
Hook 1158.
he's got to get to there.
Al Reed.
Must get to this area here. That's if he's going to do the shot I'm talking about. Because that way from there he can pot the 6 and go into the pack. Well, that's absolutely no use whatsoever. He's going to try and work this with a lot of inside, and he's going to have to go 2 rails. There's no way he can get to this with one hit off that side rail. I think that's too much of an angle to try and make. Yeah, it was just not on. He had to get up the table with that shot. So only way he was going to give him any room to be able to pot the 6 and just run into the top of that pack. And in the end he did nothing. It didn't get him anywhere. He kind of chickened out on it. Or he was trying some other sort of shot, but got absolutely nowhere near it. So after 2 visits, or 2 scoring visits by Tommyue, there's 14 in the board. Oh, now can he get enough of that 6 ball? That's very tight. Yeah, he's not interested. Well, this is a cagey start by both players. Now let's have a look at that 8. I think the 15's in the way. Yeah. That's a better weighted shot, but again the problem is he's nudged one into play. Got good length in the cue ball, but Tommyue, I don't think is going to refuse this. And he's going to run into
Hotman
the 15
66.
or the 11, is
Evening.
it? He's going to run into the 11. That's going to push the 7, the 14 and the 8. Good evening. Yeah, that was not going to do an awful lot of damage, but he's got a dicey cut. Gets a bonus ball there, and he's got a nice little cut again in the 15 if he wants to use the angle off that just to try and disturb a few more of these, although he might be able to do it off the 6. Let's have a look at his angle here. Well, he'll be able to clip the 2 ball, and that might just nudge a few more out. He's ended up in a bit of a dodgy position here. Testy cut down the rail on that 10 ball. Still okay. You can see, I think, enough of the 8 ball, but what's going to be a ball that's going to open up the rest of these? That 3 ball isn't a combo, so there's something needs disturbing. Well, it was a really cold last night up here. We had a sprinkle of snow during the night, and when I went out to the car this morning it was -5, and when I was driving home at 2 o'clock this afternoon it was -1, so it never got above freezing here today. And plus the other problem is when I was driving home, with them, with the salt being put in the road, any frost was melting on the road, so that any trucks that were going past and in front were kicking up some spray, so you were getting those spots in the windscreen. And by the time I got halfway home,
FWKN freezing here too.
By the time I got halfway home, the sun was low in the sky with bright blue sky. The sun was reflecting off the dampness on the road. I could not see where I was going because my window washers weren't working; they were frozen. So I was basically staring through a thick mist and following the truck in front of me. I made sure I just stayed about 60 odd miles an hour so I could stay behind this truck until I got to my exit. That's the only way I could get home. Couldn't see a damn thing out the windscreen. Well, Tommyue, I mean, it's not been enthralling so far, but he's built up a 24-point lead. Well, of course, he doesn't need to do anything. I don't know whether... Let's have a look and see how he's playing this. I think... Is he trying to cut this in and maybe just run into them? Because he doesn't need to, or if he gets over the other side, over by where the 3 ball is, he may well come past and leave himself a shot in the 2. That'd be one way to play
Potman
it.
66. There's a new invention, Hugh. It's called antifreeze. I think Tesco sells it. He.
No, I had antifreeze is for your bloody radiator, is it not? You talking about de-icer? It's a bit difficult in the motorway to actually lean out the front of your driver's seat and spray your windscreen at 60 miles an hour. Well, he's got more or less where we were thinking he would end up, so he's given himself a choice of 3 shots here. The only major problem we have is that 2 of the balls are still lying in the triangle, so
Master power.
none of
Alarm
them are any
bells
good.
ringing for Bedhead. Many more nuclear alarm bells F coming K.
So unless he gets a little nudge in this 2 ball, and he's trying to just squeeze a bit here in this 9. Yep, he's just tried, and that is perfect. That is a clever little shot, because he was pretty much straight on that 9 ball, but he just pinched a wee bit of angle. That's using the head just to get that little stun onto the 2, and then of course the cue ball lying in the pack gives them ball in hand, and that's clever thinking. Now, can he take advantage of it? And well, I keep talking about pressure. If you can just keep adding to your score, it just means that Bedhead's got to deliver when he gets a chance, which makes it a better match for as far as I'm concerned. It's always good when a player comes to the table and he knows he has to be committed and make some sort of impact and some sort of dent on that deficit, and the deficit's already 30. And well, this table looks pretty damn good to me. That 4 and 5 ball aren't a problem. The 5 ball goes clean, so you don't need to worry about disturbing
Potman
them.
66. Wit I just been playing has in VR tennis. He damaged his foot on the hearth. He s grounded now lol.
And what the hell was he doing? Was he running for a ball down the line or something? Well, he's taking care of the 5. So now everything is wide open.
LOLL. Potman 66. He was yes.
That was like Ronnie O'Sullivan. I'll say that again. That was like Ronnie O'Sullivan with the VR headset on, trying to play pool, and he fell flat in his face. He went to lean over the table. I'm sure that's in YouTube. I'm sure that's where I seen it. And I think Ronnie O'Sullivan thought exactly the same as I thought. I'll never bloody do that again.
Potman 66. ILL have to look that up.
I'm sure
Lee.
that the video is
Funny
on
when Ron
YouTube.
fell over. Stefook 1158. Hey Hugh, did you see Lilo Lil past?
No. Now when you say Lilo Lil, you mean her that played the character in Bread? Is that what you mean?
Stefook 1158.
Yeah,
Bread.
well, I'm guessing she must. I mean, I haven't seen anything. I haven't looked at the text. I haven't seen the news
Stefook
at all today.
1158.
But I would guess
She is a tart.
I would guess she would be well past her 70s, maybe even into her 80s now. I would have thought she'd have been 50 odd
Potman
at least.
66.
when she was.
Was that the sister?
No, Lilo Lil was, you know the guy, you know the father with the fuzzy hair?
Yes, 78 I think.
His fancy woman was Lilo Lil, the Irish woman. I thought she'd be older than that. I thought she'd be about 78 or 80. Yeah, they're all dropping like flies. In fact, I went back to work today after my 2 days off and found out that 6 or 7 of the .com backroom staff are all self-isolating. So we're bugged with it again. So, no, of course, nobody in management actually walks up to you and tells you this. I only heard this halfway through the day, when one of my colleagues had finished their shift and was doing their shopping and came over and said to me, "Have you heard?" So, I mean, it's not as if we're not through the back where the computer is, where the tickets all print off from time to time, so we're just as much at risk. And yet the 2 managers, they're all self-isolating at home. I mean, they took the first chance they could get to get the bloody business.
Nomad. LOL, just saw the Ronnie VR fall over.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. And that's how dangerous VR is. That's why I'd never get a headset. I'm sure I'd knock holes in the wall and all sorts of that carry on. Well, we've got a mini crisis on here, even this early in the match. Tommyue, 38 the lead, 24 so far in this visit, and every single point he sticks on that scoreboard, believe me, Bedhead knows that he has to make a visit when he comes. 4 and 5 of a visit, no use. He has to make a statement. The question though is when is he ever going to get a shot? Let's zoom in and have a look at that 10 ball. It's in the pack. Now, Tommyue, he could try a little stun here again. I think he's got the angle. Maybe not. It might be a bit thinner for this cut in the 15. I don't know whether he's going to try and risk that at that angle. He'd probably be better taking his medicine and cutting the 15 and not trying to do anything with the 10. I think there's just there's too much angle in the cut in this 15 to try and do that. He might try and do something from this shot though. But if he misses everything, he could be blocked out. So there's he needs a wee bit of luck here from this shot. Well, he's gone inside there, big check in the cue ball, and that's a good shot. Now, got to get up the table to the right hand side to leave that.
He has it 50. Evening.
Good evening, welcome to the show. It's been the Tommyue show so far. He's kept bit. Well, that's far too low. He's going to have to put a lot on this again, and he needs to hit this with enough pace to make sure that if he misses it, he's going to hit it from the other rail. He can't baby this in. He has to go for this if he's going to try and get the break. I don't know whether he can do it off the one rail though. So that's why he has to hit it with pace. Now, you know not to send me PMs, Pop Man. I ain't going to open it while I'm streaming. You could be telling me you love me and you want my babies or something again, like you normally do, so that's why I'm not opening it. Well, he's managed to do it off the one rail. I'll give him that. And the run is 29 and the lead is 43. It can't be anything that important, Pop Man, surely. I know your match starts at 7 o'clock. I'm just hoping that your match is finished before this one. Well, there's a simple combo down the rail. So once again, those two balls, they don't need to be disturbed on that side rail. All you need to do is get top side of them, and you've got a fairly simple combo down the rail. It's these other balls in the clusters you're going to try and do anything. I thought he might have had an angle in the 7 there, but what about that 5?
Potman 66. How's your foot has max LOL? You has it 50. Sore.
Well, that's opened him up though. Can he see the 12? I think he can. He wants to get low in this 9 ball if he can. Any opportunity you can get, just coming out and going square on that 9 ball, just below the cluster of 4. Well, he's again sees it a different way from the way I see it, but that 9 ball would be perfect if you can. He could even check off the 6. That's what he's doing, but he's gone dead straight. He's hit it too hard and gone dead straight. He might be going forward and around. No. Well, he's running out of chances here. Now what does he do? Does he see a combo? Oh yeah, well, I think the problem is the distance between the 4 and the 5 for this
has
shot.
It 50. Just kicked Potman's backside at tennis VR.
Yeah, he told us you kicked the fireplace or whatever it was. Well, that's a good shot. That's an excellent shot. Excellent recovery. The only problem is the 2 and the 9 are locked together in the diamond in the triangle. But the run is 37 and the lead is 51.
Potman 66. You kicked the hearth, not me, hee hee.
Now, is he going to be brave enough to try the stun into the 2 and 9? Oh, of course he is. Again, using his head. Okay, it's finished a wee bit ugly, but on the ball and thinking about what he's doing, thinking about the opportunity there just to get the break in those 2 balls. If only a lot more players were doing similar in this tournament, they'd be getting a lot more successful. You hear what I'm saying, Potman?
66.
Are
I
you
could
listening?
hear you groaning as I couldn't breath, lol.
Well, he's got the 10 ball, which would be an ideal break ball, again from the middle of the table. Somewhere maybe just above the
Potman
middle
66.
pocket.
I hear ya, Hugh.
Yeah, thinking all the time, watching all the time for opportunities. So that's what it's going to be. It's going to be the 10 ball as a break shot, but he's got to get good once again. And this is a bit fiddly, this angle that he's got in the 3 to get this cue ball in good control. That'll do. That is probably as good as you could expect. But once again, he's gone into a flat wall of balls, and he doesn't want this to lock up onto them. It could just die a death, this ball. Ideally, he doesn't want to hit them right in the middle. He wants to just hit a corner somewhere, if he can, because it can all end up with no shot here. Now,
Master power.
that has worked out
You
very
hear him,
nice.
but you gotta listen to him, Potman K.
That was a very well controlled shot. The pace was nice. He ran off the pack, lands on the 6. The run goes to 43. The lead is 57. And what a cracking start this is for Tommyue. And it just shows you, if you're prepared to put the work in and just make sure you're thinking all the time about 1-2 balls ahead. It's like I keep saying, there's a discipline when you're at the table to pick off certain balls, those 2 or 3 balls ahead, so you know exactly where you're going next. As long as you keep to that plan, in general, unless something goes amiss, it's usually going to work for you if you're thinking about what you're doing. Just taking your time, not rushing into anything daft. And like I keep saying, as long as you keep putting points on the board and you start drifting away further from your opponent, it just always stacks the pressure on them to produce something as soon as they get a chance. And that has worked out very nice as well. He's got a fair few balls to choose from. Now, it would be good if that 3 ball went, but it doesn't. It's blocked by the 5, and he can get rid of the 5 now. He wants to get rid of that because that's a blocking ball for the 11. The 3 ball's a bit awkward where it's sat. Uh, 12 ball doesn't go. I'd be trying to get
Deist Nomad.
into the table
14 on YouTube.
to leave that. So that 12 ball's quite a good ball. It's a good ball for the break shot, but unless he hasn't got the angle yet, he might try it off the 11, off that short rail, just to run in between this 15 and 3 or hit something. Or is he looking for something up the table? I don't know. I don't quite know what he's thinking here. Again, if he can get out into the table far enough, he wants to get across for that 12. He may well have to sacrifice that. If he's made his mind up right now that the 12 is going to be his break ball, he's got an even bigger problem in getting to that 3. Well, the other way of doing it would be if he gets over to the 2 and got straight on it. Let's have a look. I think he can run right through here. If he can get right down into the corner, he might be able to land in the 3 into the middle. That's a wee bit dicey, because you don't get there, you might have no shot at all. But what else is he thinking? Is he trying to come off the rail and run across into them? He might waste his break ball here. Looks as if he's drawn back for the 9. And again, he might be pinching an angle here off this 9, just to stun into the 3. Remember, the 3 doesn't go. Well, he's landed on the 12, and that opens it up. That's pretty good. But can he avoid hitting the 3 here when he cuts this 12? It doesn't look as if he was always going to brush into it, but it's worked out nice.
Hotman 66. Bed should be getting worried now.
Well, the run goes to 55 and the lead is 69. And that looks a good pace. I like that shot. That's excellent. That is pretty nigh perfect, because the angle is good that you don't have to start trying to draw to the pack. You just have to stun it firm, and you don't have to have top in the cue ball because you don't want to be running forward. A firm stun, just half a cue tip below the equator to make sure the cue ball doesn't run forward.
Deist Nomad. Never underestimate Tommy K.
How many times have we seen somebody with a break ball like this get it like that and then just go straight for it and blast it and miss it? Tommy's taking his time.
66. It's Tommyue Wit.
Well, he's taking his time. Is he falling asleep? Of course, there's no shot clock when you're taking the break shot. Well, that's bounced straight up the table off the pack, but it's bounced into safety, and well, again, he's got a whole stack of balls to pick here. This is looking decidedly dangerous now for Bedhead, and Tommyue goes to 57. Somebody go to if you go to the stats page, go to stats, drop down to straight pool, and then choose tournaments stats, and then in the little window type in 2020 and then hit the delete button to delete the 0, and the 2020 virtual pool straight pool championships tournament will come up. And then look at the top 10. If you click the tabs for longest run, find out where Tommy is on this, because he certainly, if he's not on the board, he should be after this. Well, there's only one slight problem, and that's the 3 and the 2. But he's bound to have plenty of opportunities here just to have a nudge on that couple of balls. The run goes to 60, the lead goes to 74.
Napnicker 99. 17th on 40.
So that's his high run, 40. Well, he's going to be in the top 10 after this. And who knows what it might end up as. Well, he's halfway home. Now, I'm thinking and looking to see where he can deal with this, and he can deal with this now. I think just a little run through and a brush off that 3 ball, and he'll go to the left, I think. Oh, he's missed it. He's missed it, but that was the idea. Just a little brush off the 3. Obviously he's still got a ball as a backup here, but now that was his best chance there of just touching that 3 ball just to open them up. So now that problem is becoming a bigger problem for the sheer fact that he's running out of balls again. Now, is he going to try and draw here? Because this is dangerous. If he's going to cut that and try and draw and get into them that way, because it could all go wrong and the cue ball could end up you know where. If he gets this, no, he's not risking it. He's going to go for the 5, cut it and then hit them. That would be the shot. He's bound to disturb them now. I don't think he can miss them, but he has to make sure he's getting the pot first and not be concentrating so much on the hit. If he plays the right shot, he's going to hit them. It's all about the pot. And that will do. Job done. Now, the problem now is we don't have an obvious break shot here. Well, one option of a break shot is that shot from sort of like there, or maybe not quite as much as that, but obviously cut that so that you're hitting the railing coming into the pack, but you're going into the back of the pack again. The other way would be to use one of those 2 balls up table to put either of them into the middle pocket and run into the pack from that side. But this is not an ideal setup, but well, so far Tommy's managed to deal with these problems. Let's see what he does here. The lead is 81. The run is 67. And this is a tall order already for Bedhead. But this is where we can use all the cliches in the book here. When the going gets tough, the tough gets going. That's one of them. The question's now going to be asked of Bedhead if he gets a chance at the table. And if he does, he's got to deliver. And that's the true test of a champion, is whether or not you can actually divvy up the goods when it's most required. Well, that's a bit straight. He's going to have to force this big time stun, get the amp on and give it a blast. The run is 70. Now, what's he got? It needs to keep going. It needs to keep going. That will do. Straight on the 5. He can just drag the cue ball for the 13. And if he gets a nice little angle in the 13, he can get himself up and square on that 6 ball from the right hand side. That'd be one way. Again, just to let that cue ball run into those clusters there. Perfect opportunity if he can get square on it. He's got an angle to do it. That's what he should be playing for, to get himself square in the 6. Now, the only scary thing with this shot is you're playing for one specific ball when there's other balls there to be taken, but it's the shot that's going to open the rack for him. It's the shot that can get him to 3 figures here. Well, 3 figures on the scoreboard, that is, but is he going to be brave enough to play it? Just get over to the other side, get yourself almost square on that 6 ball. No, he's trying it from the wrong side. Took a risk. And the cue ball running loose, but he's still in play, and he's still got to deal with those. And of course Friday night 9 ball is in about, what, 9 minutes time. There's the 6 ball will go. You can see enough of it, I think. Well, if that cue ball had ran to there, that would have been perfect to nudge those. If he just had a wee bit more juice on it, he's going to try it off the 9. No. Well, now this is going. Is that dead set? I never even looked at that. Oh, that's a bonus. In fact, he can even take the 12 if he wants and leave that combo there for the moment. And if he takes that, he can run through for the 8. And if he goes through and doesn't get good in the 8, he's got the 7 and he's got the 2. So the problem's now still the 8 ball. And what about that pair there? Well, you know, that's hard to say whether that's dead set or dead set for the jaw. That 12 and 11, it looks as if it will go in. There's a fair bit of leeway on these corner pockets. I think it would be all to do with the pace if you were going to play a combo. So the run is 78 and the lead is 92. Well, the one thing I won't be saying at the end of this match is Bedhead played bad, regardless of what the outcome is, because he's not had a shot yet. He's not had a sniff. And we might not know how good Bedhead is going to play, which is the beauty about straight pull. He might have played his last shot. Now, is Tommyue leaving those two as a combo? We'll soon find out. But if so, if he can get through that gap, he could play the combo now. If that's what he was thinking. Because I'm sure he can see them through the gap. Yep. But when you look at it from a distance, that looks as if it's going to the jaw. But if you look at it closer, it looks as if it's going in. It's just going to the knuckle. But at a reasonably slow pace, that would probably drop. Well, that will do, because that's now taking that out of the equation. Now, is he going to try and drop behind the 8 ball here or run into them? He's got the angle to do that. He's going to have to play the little nudge from this opportunity. And has he given himself a break shot? Well, that 10 ball looks as if it's encroaching. The 8 ball is right in the corner. The 3 ball's over the corner. So there's nothing ideal here. But the run is 82. And Tommyue's worked hard for this, and he's getting the reward. He's done a lot of thinking, he's took his time, he's got himself out of problems, and that's why he's still at the table. Just a simple thing. You put the work in, think about what you're doing, concentrate on those 2 or 3 shots, and when you get the end result like this, you feel a lot better about it, rather than scrabbling and struggling to keep things going, like many players have been doing. But if you're going to make a statement that you're still in this tournament to be competitive, there's no better way of doing it than this. Well, the break ball is going to be the 3, and he doesn't want to end up straight on it. He wants to leave this thin if you can. This is crucial. Has to leave it thin so he can cut it and hit that pack, and that looks not bad. And now the danger, of course, is always running into that row of balls. Is he going to get lucky? Because earlier on in the Stefan Sylvia match in the straight pool tourney this afternoon, he had a shot like this, ran straight off the back of the pack into the right hand corner pocket with the cue ball, and Tommyue's avoided that, and he's back in play. He's back in business big time here, and we're heading for triple figures here. It could be the 3rd one of the tournament against the player who got the 2nd one in the tournament. He's just 15 away, so just this rack will take him to triple figures on this visit.
Stefook 1158. Kiss. A. Death.
Whose room was that went into last? It was Bedhead's room, wasn't it? When he was in the tournament the other night. I jumped from that the match we were watching, into his match. And he was in a run of 58 or something, whatever it was. Well, I soon killed that as soon as I arrived in the room. And I blame that on Larry. That was Larry's fault, because I didn't even know the match was on, or I wouldn't have gone in. And then I did, and that was it. And even Bedhead typed in the chat that it was my fault. I love having that power over people. I'm sure their brains fry as soon as they see my name entering the room. Well, he's now in triple figures as far as the match score goes. It's 102-0, and he moves on to 88 on this visit. Very impressive. Now is he dropping through for the 4 ball off that? What ball's that? The 14 in the rail. Now he's going to maybe, is he going to risk the 7 and running across, or is he just going to come out for the 4? How daring is he going to be? Is he going to take risks at this stage? Nope. He's picking off what's there.
Semi-Prof 4. C-Stub, this is how you make a high run.
It exactly is how you do it. You take your time and you concentrate rather than splashing
Hotman
about.
66.
It's gone wrong here though.
GTG play match, steady play from Tommy.
Well, good luck. In fact, your room's up a minute ago. Can you see the 4? Oh yeah, you can see the 4, that's a bonus, because it was looking a bit dodgy there. And he can also get on the 1 or the 13 if he wants. Well, he's going to be Chinese snookered, but he should really have no problem just dropping one of these in. The only problem he'll have is if he wants to just... What's he doing with the cue here? Just drop him through for the 13 into the middle. Right, so obviously we're looking for a break ball here. We've got the 9. If you get inside the 9, if he finishes here on the 9, he's looking good. If he ends up here on the 14, he's looking good. So there's 2 choices there. But he's got to deal with the 6 and the 2 first. And the other problem, and the biggest problem of all, is that 15 ball. That is extremely dangerous where that's sitting, because that is pretty nigh tight in the rail, and that could be the undoing of him. It's not, I mean, that's 3mm off the rail, but that's a major problem here. The run goes to 94. That might be the ball that kills this run. Well, he's got a slight angle in the 2, and he's got to go for it. He's got to go for the stun. Ideal stun here would be if he ran into that and just left himself on the 14. And he's got to take the risk here. This is all or nothing to get over the 100. Well, he's tried his damnedest. He's going to do the usual, and he's scratched. He had to take the risk, and the run ends on 94. But it was an excellent piece of work. But that was the downfall. That 15 ball had to try and get the stun into it, and just got it too. He got it too good.
Keith Malcolmson, nice run.
And well, it ends as all big runs seem to end, with a scratch. But it's an excellent visit by Tommyue, and of course now Bedhead. Well, he's got the same problem to deal with here, but the biggest problem of all is he's got to try and find a score. And that puts, I think that puts Tommyue 4th on the board, or thereabouts. I think we've got Semi-Pro still at number 1. We've got Bedhead at number 2. I think we've got LS3 at number 3, and or the tied was LS3 on 97. Was that a 97 she got, or a 94? Anyway, I'm pretty certain that Tommyue's 4th on the leaderboard now for the high runs.
Napnicker 99. Ties with LS3.
Ah, right, well, that's still impressive though. Just at the right time. Now, what's Bedhead made of? He's certainly going to be struggling here. Can he pot this too and clip the 15? That's what he's trying. Well, it's going to just be the safety. Maybe just play the double kiss off the 15. Or is he trying to run down behind the pack? Yep.
Stephen Lee. Big comeback needed.
Oh yeah. He knows now, Bedhead, he can't afford to make mistakes. He can't afford to leave Tommyue an easy start. Because it's then going to be too much to ask. Is Tommyue still with us? And I'm sure Bedhead, looking at the score, you know, the thing that'll be sticking in Bedhead's mind is the fact that 150 isn't far away when you're sitting on 108, especially when you're sitting on 3. 150 looks an awful lot farther away. Now that's a pretty good safety. Even though he's lost a point, that's nothing. Bedhead, if he's going to try and brush off a ball and come back behind the pack, he's got to get it right. The simple shot would be to punch the 14 up the table and just lock the cue ball. So that's one foul each. And somebody's going to have to be brave. And that prevents Tommyue from punching a ball up the table where the cue ball stuck. It's stuck on the 6 ball. Yeah, that's not a bad shot, but I think Bedhead's going to have to go for the cut or the bank, more likely the cut.
Aiming 86-12. I just got here. Did Tommy have a big run?
Yeah, he had a run of 94. Oh dear, what's happened here? And this is the kind of things that happen for you when you need a run. Is he still okay? I think he's got out of jail big time. He's on the 7. Well, that was lucky. Well, this is Bedhead's first real chance to score something. He's got the 8 ball. The 8 ball would be the shot to get into these. And I think, let's have a look at the back of the pack. How's that 14 ball sitting? That's too tight to be playing for it. But the 8 ball is the ideal ball to play the break on that cluster there. He wants to, at some point, if he can get into the table and leave himself on that 8, that's the one he would use. Now, the other benefit of that shot though is that I'm pretty certain that 5 ball's outside the triangle, so that'd be a good break ball. And he's got another opportunity. I think he's got too much angle in the 15. He might try it off the 15 here, but I think how's the angle? I think he can draw off that. He doesn't want to get too much into it, and he's got a slight angle in the 8. He can certainly nudge something to improve the situation. Good firm stun, and that will do. So problem has been dealt with, and the 5 ball that I mentioned remains where it is. It's a good break shot. If he plays if the last ball he's going to play is the 3 ball, it's a good ball to get onto the 5. Now where he's gone now means he's going to take the 3, or is he going to leave the 10? That's maybe what he's got in mind. But even so, the 3 ball's still a good ball to get in the 10 because it's adjacent. So this match has been going on for an hour and 10 minutes, and for the first hour and 5 minutes it's all been Tommyue. I think he's a bit in no man's land here. He's going to have to just run up the table, but try not run too far. That will do. So we have the cluster in the middle of the triangle. If you can you see that 7 to play the combo? Yep, that's what he's going to play. He's playing the combo in the 4, and at the same time he's going to nudge into that 10 ball or whatever the hell it is, the 12 ball.
86-12. Are these club pockets?
Yeah, these are normal pockets, or what used to be called club. Yeah. Well, he's going another way. He doesn't fancy it. He might be trying it off the 4. Is he going to try and run into them off the 4?
Semi-Prof 4. GR3AT match these.
What does that say? Oh, great match this. I finally deciphered that. He's got to be looking at it off the 3 now. He's got a slight angle to try and punch into them. That's always a danger though, is with the stun you don't have a lot of forward momentum and it kills on the ball that it's hit, and it's left
Stephen Lee.
an awkward
Long
cut in
day
the
in
5.
the office for semi LOL.
And that's worked out nice. 2 ball could end up in the break ball here because those other balls are no use where they are.
Stephen Lee. Or birthday hangover LOL.
So Bedhead's visit is 21. But this is the sort of quality that I expect and everybody else should expect as you go deeper into the tournament, especially obviously in the one loss side. You're going to get a lot of good quality players ending up over there, because somebody has to end up over there, and when you get 2 half decent players matched up to one another, you expect to get something of a much higher standard than what we've seen in too many of these matches. Too many of these matches have been pretty poor. But when you get people that are thinking, players that are thinking, they've got a game plan, they've got a strategy, they're picking their way through the balls, then you get quality. Now the biggest question of all though is whether Bedhead can deliver, because right now he's hanging on by the skin of his teeth in this tournament. Or to put it another way, he's hanging on by a few fingertips, but not all of them. Well, the one I thought might be the break ball, it's gone. the 12 ball's in the triangle, the 8 ball's going to disappear. The 9 ball's not in a great place. Well, he's nudged into the 12. That's made no major difference there, because I'm pretty certain that's going to end up on the break spot at the top end of the table, and that 13 ball isn't great for a break ball. So Bedhead's got a major problem here, and again it's so difficult to leave this cue ball in a good line on this 13 to get anywhere near this pack. So this visit is threatening to peter out, and it all hinges on this shot. And he's going to go 2 straight, and that is going to be it.
Semi-Prof 4. Wish I could use that as an excuse. I'm off work until the 18th, ha.
Well, he'll do well to get anything here. This is pretty much 2 straight, and I think he should cut and run. And I think he's seen good sense there, because he knows full well he was not going to get anything by trying something stupid. Take your points, keep it tight, and wait for another chance. So the run ends on 29, but he's still got a long way to go to get back into this match. Trails by 76 points. Now, what's he spotted here? Is he looking for the? He's looking for the well, is he looking for the combo and the cannon off the 3 to pot this 4? That looks as if it's going to go far too thick. That's hitting the 11 ball far too thick, I think, to play that shot, is it? God, you've got to convince it. The other problem is the 7 ball's in the way. That 7 ball's in the way of the line to get to that 4. Yep, it was never on. It was never on, Tommy. You should have looked at that a bit more, because the 7 ball was always stopping the path. And that's given Bedhead a chance. And this is the way things have to go for Bedhead to get back into this match. He has to lock up Tommy. And as long as Tommy keeps playing shots like that, and, you know, sort of maybe trying to push the boat a wee bit too far there and trying to finish the match, he's given Bedhead a free go just to gather some more points if he gets the opportunity. Obviously he wants to try somehow and disturb this bunch, but he's not got a great ball to do it, because the immediate problem's the 10 ball. That 10 ball's blocking the 12, and if he could get up the table, I mean, the game plan could be to get up the table and take that and somehow get sort of there to pot the 12 and break them. But as long as that ball remains there, he's got no chance of that. So he's going behind. He's still got a problem. And now, well, again, you don't need to worry about the 2 balls in the side rail. That's an easy combo. You can immediately put less focus on them. You don't need to move anything. You just need to roll in the 11 up the top left hand side and then finish on the 1 and play that combo. But this 7 and 8 ball's the issue. How does he get anywhere near them just to get a touch? All it needs is just a feather on either of them, and that'll free them up. But he's got to be planning for that shot. He has to get there, and he's doing a bit of thinking. I'm looking to see where that shot could possibly be. Well, he's playing the combo. Now, is he going to play this firm and try and come across and get the break from this combo? Because he's got the angle to do it. Well, he's ended up going forward, and a brush off the ones killed that idea. If he had that in mind. So it's I don't want to be the prophet of doom, but he's running out of balls here. He's running out of opportunities. But if he keeps his head and does what he did in the last rack, take what's there, and then if you can't get the break, then just make sure that it's nice and safe. Well, he's dead straight in the 3. He's going to have maybe one last good chance if he can make it. It looks as if he's trying off the 14. It doesn't matter what he does, as long as he gets a hit on anything there, he's got to open them up. And that will do. And now he's back in business, albeit not perfect, but the one ball will do as a break shot. Well, he's going to have to run high on the 8, I think, to make sure he gets a good angle to come off this short rail at the bottom and back up the table. So he's gone high. Not quite far enough to be in the bedhead cut area, but it's the angle he needs to get himself high up the table now. And over to the right slightly if he can. Oh, he's gone a wee bit too far. Just a wee bit too much.
Stephen Lee. You puffing through them roll-ups, hoo ha ha.
No. Well, this is a toughie. He's certainly going to break the pack. It's all about the pot. Cannot miss this pot. This is a must shot. And there we go. That's the problem. That is the problem. Just too far into the rail. Had to get himself in that parallel line and not leave himself too much to do in that cut. And well, the visit ends in 11, and this is where it's going to be painful, because this is exactly what Tommyue's been waiting on. Just another opportunity to add some more onto that scoreboard and take the match away from Bedhead, take the idea of any chance of getting back into it right out of his mind. And this may well be pretty much the final nail in the coffin if Tommyue can see this out. Again, it just reinforces how difficult it is to get to 3 figures in this game. How difficult it is to be consistent, to get that good line on that break shot. It's so
Surprise
difficult.
Bed missed that, as he usually plays on very tight pockets in 1p.
Yeah. Well, this is exactly the time he had to produce the shot. He had to produce the covery shot, but he failed to do it. And Tommyue has got lucky there, because that cue ball was dead and going nowhere, but he still got the escape route with the 3. He's got the little cut into the middle on the 12, and well, from that, I don't know whether he wants to try drawing back just to get the 7. No, he just concentrated in the pot, but he's now got to concentrate either on getting the 12, or not the 12, what the ball's at, the 15. If he gets that, he can drop the cue ball for the 6 like that. So he might well just, how's the angle he's got? He's got maybe too much. He's just trying to drop it. Yep, that'll do. He's listening to what I'm saying, so he can just nudge and move things a wee bit here, just to try and improve the lay of the table here. And that'll do. Now, how's he sitting on that 5 ball? Because he could, I mean, the shot would be to take the 9 and just come back out for the 11. I mean, that'd be one way of getting rid of that blocking ball, because it's a blocking ball for the 5 and the 8. So he would just go forward and off the side railing out and leave a wee bit of a cut back in the 11. Doesn't look as if that's what he's doing though. Well, then again, when you look at the Q-tip, that looks what he might be doing. Just run through and play the cut back in the 11. And of course, the danger with this shot is just getting a wee bit too juicy and running right out and blocking yourself with the 8, but he's not doing that, so he's taking the 8 from the side. And what we've got the 5 ball as a break ball, but that won't be there anymore unless he tries to dig in and avoid the 5. And he's stuck to the rail though. He's nudged it into the pack. So we're looking for another route here. And it may well end up being the 1 ball into the back of the pack. Run through for the 7. Leave yourself squarish on the 1. Now let's look at where that 1 is in relation to the back of the pack. This has got to be, how's he sitting in the 7? He's the wrong side of the 7. And again, that makes this shot more difficult just to get yourself set with a decent angle. And I think he's too straight. Yeah, he's got very little angle to work with here to get any joy. Well, that'll do. He's got 1. Is he going to be taking it? Because he can punch that up the table and just lock the cue ball into the 11 and 13. It's not worth the risk. Is he trying to drop it into the middle? Yeah, no, he's doing what I'm thinking. Just going to lock it onto the 13 and the 11. He's called the safety. And that's left Bedhead absolutely nothing. Well, he's got to a rail. Now Tommyue, if he wants to, can get distance. Just a thin feather off the 11. And if he scratches, fine. It's still perfectly safe. It'd have been ideal if he finished right in the corner pocket, but he's only lost a point. No damage done, which is the most important thing about that shot. And now this is taking shape like the beginning of the match, where we had this sort of safety exchange, and Tommyue won that battle and then went on to get the 94 run. And Bedhead has got to be careful. So the score's 121 to Tommyue, 44 to Bedhead, and a long way to go if he's going to have any chance. His chances are slim. All Tommyue needs to be is patient and don't get drawn into doing something too loose. He played that combo that was never really on, that sort of combo cannon that he was hoping to run the ball. I can't remember what ball it was, but it wasn't on, because he hadn't really looked at the line to see that it was clean for the balls to go through and make the contact that he expected. But he doesn't want to do anything like that. He doesn't want to try and race to the finish. He just needs to bide his time, be patient. If he gets them in singles, it won't matter. Now this, I mean, that 6-ball cuts, but you'd have to be crazy to have a blast at that, because you're going to smack them all open. So another point goes, but once again, nothing at all. And this is where you've got to just keep an eye on this pack, because balls are nudging around, and so they're both on one foul again. Now Tommyue has to be careful here, because if he doesn't cover that 13 where he's running, Bedhead would have had a go at it, but he's gone well below it. The safety isn't up the table now, because obviously we've got the 2 and the 7 out, so the safety's here at the back of the pack. He can punch the 13 up the table and get into that 14 ball. Oh, he's trying to run across, use the pack. He's done it well. Tommyue can do the same off the 7. I mean, he can bring the cue ball right back over to more or less where he was, and he won't leave anything on, as long as he gets this 7 ball thin enough. But he doesn't want to get it so that he's going to scratch, because that's going to let Bedhead straight in. So we've now got this little tactical exchange, and the outcome of this may well decide a match there and then. That's another good shot. Locked to the 8. Point away. One foul each again. Now if this safety exchange keeps up, we could end up back at, Tommyue back down to 50. Bedhead down to about 2, and then we have to start all over again. We could be here to 10 o'clock. Well, has that got there? Yes, it has. It's just got there. just blocked off. I don't think the 8 would go anyway, because I don't know whether you could really get to the cut angle of that 8 where the 14 is. Difficult to say, but he left it safe anyway. Oh well, each shot here, is that the mistake? No, I don't think he can get to it. Is he playing the bank? Well, he's got to avoid the double kiss if he's going to do that. He's calling the bank into this pocket. We need to watch the cue ball though. He's avoided that. He's got the bank and he's in. Well, Bedhead took the risk, so fair play to him for that shot. Now, is he going to be even
Stephen
braver
Lee.
and go for the 13?
I went shop for a crate of cider, so I'm prepared for anything.
I don't know whether that was a shot, Bedhead. Why didn't he take the 13? It was a riskier cut, but I don't know what he was planning there. I mean, was he trying to go low for that 8 ball? He's going to have to go all out for the cut in the 7. And if he's got this angle to play the cut, then he's got to go for it with pace to get into the pack. I'm still trying to work out what Bedhead actually played there with that shot, because it's got me baffled, and he couldn't make it into the pack. Well, he's got the chance now. This is where he was earlier on. Admittedly, it wasn't
Nomad.
quite as easy as
Fatty
this.
Match Fixer, what is your VP4 name?
Where's Fatty Match Fixer then? Who's that? I don't see that in the chat. Was that somebody's name? Oh, you're talking about Stephen Lee. That just sunk in there.
Stephen Lee. Arsonist _1. Deist Nomad. Stephen Lee.
Yeah, it took a while for that to sink in there. Well, it's got to now be the 3 ball. And this should open things up.
Deist Nomad. Take your time, Hugh.
I seriously need a cup of coffee. I mean, I'm choking for a cup of coffee right now. What about that? 15 and 6. Well, he's got a shot in the 10 right now just to run into them. I don't know why he's not playing it. I mean, okay, if you were sitting good, you could take the 15, but why not take the 10 and just run into them? It's an easy enough pot. Well, let's see if he lives to regret that shot, because he was ideal in the 10. Ideal just to pot the 10 and run through and let the cue ball hit that 6 and 15. He's not done it when he had a perfect opportunity to do it. Now he's dropped behind and he can take the 6, so that's dealing with it another way. And once again, though, these balls are not sitting nice. Not really. Now,
Deist Nomad. 51 to 14 to Potman so far.
well, that 15 ball is ideal where it's sitting. I've forgotten who Potman's playing. Who's he playing? Dirty Harry, that's right. Well, again, we're at the critical stage as we get to in every rack a straight pull. How do you get good on this break ball? Well, he's got a good chance here. He's going to have to check the cue ball though. If he's going to go straight forward and off the side rail, I mean, he could get fancy and start running the cue ball around angles here. I mean, the one way of playing it is to play the pot, the cut, and run the cue ball into the rail with inside left English to bring the cue ball back across. The flashy way of doing it is to do it that way, slam it in, but you're stuck to the rail, that's the problem. And then try and run the cue ball out that way. So there's two ways of doing this. Let's see what one he chooses. I think it's the first one he's going to have to choose, because I don't think he can get into that cue ball. He's stuck in the rail. He's played the check. He's got the line. And that will do. The inside English check to cue ball back out into the table. And he's finishing a reasonably good line to hit that top of the pack. And well, he's got a fancy little 3-ball combo if he wants to start with a flourish. That would take care of the 9-ball in the side rail. He's got an emergency backup ball, 10-ball over the corner pocket, 8-ball over the middle.
Aiming 8612. What's Hugh's VP4 name?
You mean you don't know? What name of the channel are you on? You're on YouTube. Whose channel is it you're on? You might find a clue there. I thought everybody knew.
Aiming 8612. Oh, oops.
Well, I'm surprised Bedhead hasn't taken this combo yet. Just to get rid of it. I mean, you can't miss it. It's got to go in. Doesn't need to worry about position. He's bound to be on the 10. And he may well be on something of these these 3 balls that he's playing. Well, he's deciding another way here. I'm going to try and just nudge into those balls, I think. And neither's worked.
Semi-Prof 4.
And now he's back to...
Hugh's name in game is Real Poland Power.
He's back to square one here. So now he's having to take the combo because he's got nothing else to go for. And he doesn't have the backup ball of the 10-ball anymore, so he's going to have to make sure he's going to end up one of these balls here that he's playing. Where's the cue ball going? I think he's going dead, is he?
LOL semi.
Is he on it? Well, he's on the 12, or is it the 10? No, it's the 12. And he can get the 11 if he just stops the cue ball there. Well, this is where the hard work starts again. Big time. Oh, and another brave shot would be to cut the 4 to break those open. But if he plays the cut in the 7 with a good firm stunt, he should do some damage here. Oh, again that cue ball stunned, more or less stone dead. It just brushed off a ball, and he's got nothing. Oh dear, he's got an extremely thin bedhead cut on this 14 from distance. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times you look around this lot here, you've got nothing on. Well, it's off the rail far enough. He just has to get it sweet.
Aiming 86-12. 14 cuts easy.
Yeah, he's looking around here. I don't know what he's studying here. There's nothing to study other than focus on this cut. Cue ball's going to run back up the table towards these balls.
86-12. Just ask Spectre Dawn.
Yep, they always look easy. And Bedhead's visit ends in 22. And he's still a long way behind. And this is just going to be another few points to the pot. Nothing in those 3 balls that are in the triangle is going to help unless he gets a nudge to knock something into play.
4. Who are you aiming?
Well, is he going to dig into the 1 and play the stunt? Needs to jack that cue up a bit, get this nice and firm. And he's always got the 14 ball as a backup here, and that will do. He had to get that little nudge just to get them into play. And we've got the 14 at the back of the pack. It's not a great place to be, simply because it's so difficult
86-12.
to get good. And he's
And
drawn
give
the
up
4
my
into
anonymity
play.
on VP4 by associating that name with this one.
So the 4 ball is as good as anything, but he's going to have to maybe go a couple of rails to get to it if he's going to come back for this 6, and he's going to have to be playing a good shot to get on the 6. Well, that needs to just brush off it, and I think the best thing that happened there, he's actually missed it. So he can now
Semi-Prof 4.
run straight up the table.
Okay, I call you Stub then.
And get as good as he can on this 4, but it's going to be from distance unless he's prepared to run it right through onto the rail at the top end, right onto the short rail and back out. No, he's trying to get there by judging the pace, and he's made a pretty good effort at it. That's not bad. So Tommyue on 124.
Yet I thought Stub ball to count LOL.
And I think the problem with this shot is he may well have to run forward. You know, he's locked right on the 6 ball and it's glued straight on it. Absolutely stuck fast on that 6 ball. Well, the one good thing about this visit, we'll say that again, the one good thing about this visit for Bedhead is it's only 6 points. And immediately the pressure is stacked back in Bedhead, because he's having to come up with some sort of safety. May well lose a point here, unless he's trying to tuck himself in behind that 13 ball. Is he trying to just skim into the 13 and hide in the corner. Let's have a look and see if that's on. Oh aye, he can play that shot off the 6. He can just, I'm sure he can just brush the 6, and with a wee tiny feather left just to come down into there, that looks as safe a place as anything. Might even be able to do it off the 9. Just a little brush and a wee bit of spin. That'll do it. That's the safest place to be. Now, is he going to be enticed into it? Yep, he's going for the combo. In fact, if he'd finished low, if he'd finished on the rail, he may well not have been taking this shot on. So it's maybe going to backfire. Yep, but it was, I think, the only shot that Bedhead really had, unless he was going to sacrifice another point, and maybe would he have ended up in 2 fouls there? I can't remember. Right, I'll be back in a sec.
Der ist nomad. Gone for a dump K.
Right, what have I missed? Oh, I've missed a scratch. Well, again, it's only 2 points for Tommyue. And Bedhead taking the 9 to get them open. Oh, that 14 needs to keep running, because that 14 almost killed this visit. He's got the escape route with the 10. No, I went to put the heating off because I'll be going to bed soon, so the house is nice and warm. Well, this is the perfect opportunity for Bedhead to try and get that run that will get him back in the match. The only way that's really going to happen is if he can get to 3 figures from this visit. That's probably, I think, the best outcome of this visit is if he can get to 3 figures, and that way psychologically it puts him in a much stronger position to try and scrape out this match and recover something, because if he doesn't get there and he falls well short, it may well be his last chance. And like I say, this is how Bedhead ended up going in the 1-loss side, isn't it? Because that was that's what happened against Mooncake. Bedhead wasn't quite over the line. I can't remember, he either missed or made a mistake of some description, and Mooncake came to the table, last chance saloon, and I think he ran out with a 55 to pinch the match. Bedhead was stuck in 186. He was almost there, and Mooncake came to the table, had that one chance to get out, and he took it, which is how Bedhead finished up here. So Bedhead's in exactly the same position, albeit from the fact that obviously the goal on the winner side was to 200, whereas this is only to 150. And Bedhead was only 14 short of 200 when that happened.
Was Mooncake.
Yep. So, 7 ball top of the pack, no good. Now, can he get good on this 14 again? He's got to finish inside this 14. He's gone too far again, I think. Yeah, he needed just to be almost parallel with that 14. He's left it tough. And the cue ball has died stone dead. What's he got? He's got the 8. He's in business. Now, this 5 ball, he can run in to the 11 if he wants. I think he can run into the 11. He's run into the 15. Now, well, he's got a bailout shot. He can also, from this 2 ball, leave himself on the 15, where again, if he wants, he can run down into these 3 balls here just to open them up. So that should be the plan here, is just to leave himself high in the 15 so he can cut the 15 and send that cue ball down the rail into those balls when he's got an opportunity to do it. Well, that's perfect if he wants to play it. And the reason he should play it is he might not get a better chance of doing it. And how does that look? That's a fiddly little cut on the 9. That's a danger of a scratch, that 9 ball. I don't like that. 11 ball cut into the middle. He'll be on the 10 or whatever the hell it is. It is the 10. Is it going to get there? No! And that might be his last shot. Just relying on a wee bit better luck on the position there from that shot, but he had to play the breakout. So, is Tommyue going to put the final nail into Bedhead's coffin and send him packing? Bedhead 50 behind and counting and running out of racks. So this match has now reached 2 hours, just over it. Started at 6 o'clock my time. We're now at a minute past 8. And while Bedhead, sorry, not Bedhead, Tommyue's thinking, let's have a quick look. What's happening with Popman? Popman is 91.26 on the scoreboard there. Well, again, he's got a get out of jail ball. 9 ball. He might send this cue ball running here again just to try and run into them. Well, that's improved one situation and created another one. Well, there's a similar shot here for Tommyue. If he pots a 6 and runs up the table, or if he finishes out there, he can pot the 11 and try and break them from that position. He could also just finish low. Oh, he's missed a 6. Well, would you believe it? Bedhead lives again. It's only 4 for Tommyue. And Bedhead might play the shot. I don't know whether it's thin enough. Let's have a look. Oh, I think he's odds on. He's got to hit them if he plays that shot. He's got to hit them. Well, again, he's got a perfect opportunity off this 11 just to run into the 4 and 3, and he might not get another one.
And Spronson. Pressure is rising for Tommy.
Where the hell are these names coming from? Good evening and welcome, whoever you are. Well, I think he should have took the 11 there. Honestly do, because how better a chance is he going to get to move these? I mean, if you get rid of the 11 and you somehow drop behind the 4 and 3, you can pot the 3 up the table, the 4 up the table. You can't pot the 3 up the table, but you can drop behind the 3 for it in the middle. But that's asking too much.
Toughest thing in pool is focusing and playing well when you've had a big lead in a match but your opponent is coming back on you. Jeroen van Spronson. Sorry, Dutch name.
Now this is too straight to do anything, I think, unless he wants to force it through. We're running it. Has he got it? He's got the clip. But look at where the cue balls ended up. Well, he's making it tough for himself. Thin cut. This is the Bedhead cut in the 1 ball. This is what he likes. Cue ball's going to be running up the table though. And then same with the 4 ball, he's going to end up way up the top side. And then he's going to have to, if he can, pot the 3 and leave himself a high shot in this on this 1 ball. Well, he's running. Where's the cue ball going? Where's the cue ball ending up? Oh, well, he lives again. I think that's him used his 3rd life. And again, he's going to finish way inside, is he? Well, it's a wee bit better, but he's going to have to get dug into the cue ball here. Oh, the 11s came to the rescue there, because it's came back into play. He did still have the 4 ball, but he had nothing else apart from those. So Bedhead, slowly but surely, and it really is slowly, he moves on to 84. The run is just 6, but he needs an awful lot more. Well, it looks as if it's a little run through just to leave himself highish on this 14 ball. That shot there, and then, you know, a stun and a hit just to move things a bit. Oh, he's put the draw on it. A dangerous shot. Got away with it. Now, what about that 15 and 13 ball? Well, that's not set. That's definitely running to the jaw.
Semi-Prof 4. Depends on player. Some players get more confident with bigger leads.
Well, Tommyue's last 2 or 3 contributions have just been single figures, which I'm sure is frustrating him because he wants to go over the line. But I keep saying it, and I'll go back and I'll keep saying it. You've just got to keep your discipline. You've got to stick to the rules. And Bedhead is going to have to work something here if this run's going to progress, because we've got 2 problems and not enough balls to deal with them. Well, he's going to try off the 7. He's got to try and run into something here. He needs a hit of some description if this is going to progress. That's taking care of 1, and he can take care of the second one because he's finished perfectly behind. Well, either ball, 13 ball looks the favourite because it's the straightest, and that's the problem dealt with in 1 shot. Killed 2 birds with 1 stone there. That couldn't have worked out any better. So now we've dealt with all the problems. The last one is, where's the break ball? 15 balls in the triangle, 9 ball at the back of the pack, 8 ball up the table, and then these 2 balls on the side here. So just drop the 9 in, run one of them up the table.
Sure, but I expect that if Bedhead gets to a 100 plus and ends with a good safety instead of a miss, he's favourite for the match.
Well, that's where it's all going to hinge on whether Bedhead not only gets to 3 figures but starts eating down from there that deficit. That's then when Tommyue is going to feel the pinch. But Bedhead's in a situation here now where he just cannot afford to make a miss, a silly mistake. He just has to be 100% on it every shot. And here's the next one, because he has to get either out into the table or in near the rail on this ball. And that is a better line. It's almost on the parallel, but it's good for a stun to catch those corner balls if he can. Well, he's caught the top of the pack, but he'll take that. That's not too bad. Okay, we've got a cluster in the middle of the table, but he's got opportunities to get into them. The run goes to 20. There's risk setting tournaments that are designed exactly for him. Rookie to be 6 ball handicapped. Rookie players to be with a handicap. Stubbs got to be interested in that, surely. It's only 6 ball. So Bedhead has got to 3 figures. The run goes to 24. He's got the square cut in the 2. He's going to hit the 9.
Semi-Prof 4. Bed is more than capable of running out here, and you can't say Tommy hasn't had chances.
Yeah, well, we know Bedhead is well capable, but it's like I said earlier, it's doing it when it matters, and this is it. This is when it matters. You can still inflict the same wounds on Tommyue as Mooncake did to Bedhead. I think he's finished dead straight in the 3. He wanted a slight angle on that to be able to just nudge those, and that chance is gone. So once again, it's now the critical stage is now earlier in the rack, because he's still left with a problem late on with balls running out. Now that will do if he keeps running up past to give the angle in the 13, so he can now play the stun and get the breakout on those balls. Might even nudge a good break ball into play here. That 4 ball, if it doesn't run too far, he might leave that in position. Well, he's ended up hitting it solid. 8 balls gone to the back of the pack. It could be a last resort break ball if it comes to it. That ball there, what's that one? Is that the 12? No, it's not, it's a 15. That might do it. So he's in reasonable shape here. Now, is he running up the table into the middle of the table for the 6? Or is he going to just run out for the 5 ball into the right middle and up for the 6? Because that would be a pretty good position to leave that angle in the middle of the table for the cut. The only problem with that though is that
Dea is nomad.
The cut shot.
It is Fav now for sure seen that Tommy is flailing.
You know the problem here? The problem here is running that 5 in and getting the angle in this 15 ball. He wants to be playing this 15 from closer to the left than he really wants to. The problem now though is he's got the angle where he's running up the table, and this 15 ball is quite a bit out from the rail. It would have been a much easier shot had it been closer to the rail from that side, which is why he's went this way, and that's now as good as he could probably expect. So he just cannot miss the pot. He's got to get the stun, and the cue ball's running into play. He's got the 1 ball is on, the 3 ball is on in the middle. I don't know whether he can squirt the 13 past the 8. I think he can. Well, it goes, but he's off and running again. The run goes to 34, and every ball he gets, he creeps that wee bit closer. And these balls in this side, I mean, there's a good, I mean, there's what, 1, 2, 3. He's actually now knocked to 7 into play, but the problem is that all of these balls go. All of them go. The problem is that, and that's the problem there. You've got a ball
Master
into
power.
that pocket that can leave you a
Bedhead is
choice of
very
shots.
lucky.
So the next ball to get rid of would be the 6 ball if you could, because these balls on this side here don't
Master
need
power.
to be moved.
K.
That 6 ball is just the issue if you're going to land in any of them to pot them. Let's look at that closer and see what that looks like. Right, the 14 is tight, it goes. The 5 goes, obviously, the 7 goes, and the 10 goes. And if you play the 10 from this side, you can get the nudge there. But if you don't, and you've potted that 6 and you get rid of all of them, then that opens up the 2 ball. So he must be looking for a hit on these then, because he's now got another chance to get rid of the 6 by potting this 8 and then get rid of the 6. He could take the 10 into the left middle and run into the bunch of balls and open them that way. So he's got 2 choices here. And what he wants to do, he's gone short on the 10. He wanted to run through farther to play the 10 into the middle. That would have been the shot there, into there, and then run into them. Now if he takes that one, he wants to go forward now, either there for a shot or on the 1. And he's run into them, and I don't think that was the right shot, because he's now scuppered his chances here, has he? Well, he's got a little dicey 9 ball. And then it goes, and he's almost recovered the situation. And Bedhead moves to within touching distance of Tommyue. He's 11 points behind, and the run goes to 42. And we're now getting to the critical point in this rack, because the 1 ball looks favourite, the 10 ball looks favourite. In fact, the 10 ball looks a better favourite, but he's going to be making up his mind very soon. And this next break is the crucial one to keep him going, and not only to reduce the deficit, but to take him into the lead. So it's going to be the 10. He's going to be running 2 rails by the look of it. Got to miss the 10. He's missed the 10. And now, well, it's a straightforward pot and draw up the table, but he's going to draw over to the right. Does he want to risk running forward and running the cue ball, or does he want to play the draw? The draw looks favourite to me. Anything but straight, and ideally parallel in the line with that 10 ball. That's just again just a bit too far, and this is pressure, because he knows he's breaking the pack. That's not the problem. The problem is getting the pot. He's just 6 points behind. Well, he's called a safety. What the hell's he doing here? Well, I would have expected him to grab the bull by the horns there and go for it. Is he going to make the right decision there? He's bottled out on the ball that could have took him into the lead, and well, that's not a bad outcome. Tommyue scratched, but Bedhead has made the decision to play the safety. And is it going to work out? Well, they're losing points here, but they're losing them for the right reasons, not taking risks. So it's all down to the next mistake, I think. Who's going to make it? And Bedhead has got that cue ball in a very good position, but is Tommyue going to take the bait here? Because that 7 will cut. Is there a combo on? Let's have a look. Oh, he can get the 9. Oh, this might be fatal. And in goes the 9, and he's off and running again. And Bedhead has been rewarded. He did the right thing. He didn't take the risk in going for the match. What did his run end on there? 40 odd. Where's the cue ball going? Well, he's got It's not a difficult cut down the rail. I mean, he can cut that 15 ball no problem. He can cut the 10. He can pot the 3. But he's got a cluster to deal with. So 5 points behind. What happened there? What did I miss there? Oh, it was Bedhead that missed. Jesus Christ.
Master Power. He missed it. Alvin Haraldsson. He missed.
I blinked, and the next thing I know, Tommyue's back at the table. Oh, well, it is backfiring on Bedhead then. Well, I'd be interested to hear what your opinions were, guys, on that break ball that Bedhead had. He was a bit inside, so he had the cut back to keep his run going, and he was guaranteed he was going to break the pack, but the pressure was on the pot, and he decided to play the safety. And I mean, if it had all gone according to plan, he could have still been at the table and he could have been running out right now. And the way it's working out now, that could have been his last shot. Well, that angle in the 7 looks good to me. He's going to have to go for it.
Jeroen van Spronsen. I think he did the right thing, but the shot he missed after was rushed.
Yeah, if you're going to do, you know, you're going to bite the bullet and play the safety, then you've got to then back yourself and not do something silly not too soon after it. And well, Tommyue didn't take the risk there. He had a perfect angle in the 7 to get into those balls. It's not perfect now. And again, it's the same old story. He's running out of options and how to get there. That what ball
Alvin
is it?
Haraldsson.
That 15's no
He
good
should
to
have
him.
gone for it.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't, to be honest with you. I don't think I've ever seen Bedhead sort of back off when it came to the chance of you know, grabbing the match by the scruff of the neck and trying to finish it off on that visit. I'm surprised he didn't, and it hasn't worked out. And in the meantime, Tommyue's now got himself on the 7 for the break, and he's only 12 away. Tell a lie, he's 14 away. Well, they're all sitting, waiting to be picked off. We've got the 2 balls in the triangle. We've got the one at the top of the pack, which looks as if it'll do. It'll be interesting to hear what Bedhead's thoughts were on that shot that he had for the break, and why he sort of why he drew back from the precipice of going for the match when he had the table at his mercy, or he would have if he had got the break shot. And now he's sitting watching maybe the final coup de grace, as they say, by Tommyue. He's got the break ball sitting, he's 10 away, and well,
Alvin Haraldsson. Especially on these pockets. A safety is about 50% likely to end in your opponent getting the next run anyway. And I'd say he was 70% likely to put that.
yeah, I tend to agree with you there, Albie. So it's going to be the 15 ball. and leave that angle. Well, he's ended up straight in the 15, so he can only go forward. That's unless he wants to come back and leave the angle from the right side rail. No, he's going forward, and this is dangerous. This because he's right in the rail. He can only go forward. He's going to have to dig this if he's going to try and stun and catch the pack rather than running forward. And look where it's going to end up. I mean, that was commentators' eye every day of the week. Now, Bedhead with ball in hand, and it most certainly is last chance saloon, and Tommyue must have seen that coming. I mean, every one of us sitting watching that could see that shot happening. He could only get to the top of the cue ball, and he could only go forward, so he had to jack up and dig to try and pot that, to prevent the cue ball running through, brushing the pack and hitting the pocket, and that could be fatal. And Bedhead now won't get another chance. I'm pretty certain of it. He won't get another chance. And these balls, they're not sitting very nice. He's got work to do. There's a fair few blocking balls there. The 11's a blocking ball, the 3's a blocking ball. The 14's in the way, although the 14 can go into this right corner. The 1's a blocking ball. So there's an untidy mess in this right hand side here that's going to hold things up unless something's drastically improved here. He's got the opportunity off the 5. And well, he's lucky. That 4 ball just run through. He could take the 11, but he's taking the opportunity for the 7 and 3 combo. Where's his next shot coming from though? He doesn't want to lie in behind this 8 ball off this. Well, he's decided against it. I think that's the worry there. He could have, if he plays a combo, he would maybe just lie on the rail behind the 8 and have no shot. So I think he's doing the right thing here. He's just trying to nudge a ball out.
Deist Nomad.
That's not bad.
149 to 49 to Potman.
Well, it's all over bar the shouting. There's a shot there for the 10 to break those, but even if he gets rid of the 10 and he's straight in the 10, he opens that, but the 1 needs to go, which it can do now. And he can also run into those 2 balls on the side there, the 7 and 8. So Potman has gone through against Dirty Harry. So their match lasted 90 minutes. This one is now on 2.5 hours. And it's been engrossing because it's now on a knife edge as to what way this is going to go. But you feel that the next mistake is going to decide the match, if there is going to be another mistake. And Bedhead got within touching distance, let it go, and then Tommyue's scratch might be the nightmare that he's going to have tonight after this match. It was odds on that the scratch was very likely from the way he was playing that shot, and that's what happened. Now, is Bedhead good enough in this 3 to get a touch? I don't know whether he is. He might be missing these. Again, he doesn't need to worry about that. If he can get out into the table on this 10, that's the ball to get on. That 1 there. If he gets on that, he takes care of the problem. The 13 and the 15's a combo. So he's got choices here as to how he deals with this. Now that needs to slow up because he's going to end up with nothing. He's going to have to cut the 14. And once again he's going to come across the table, and if he comes out again, if he doesn't get good in the 10, he can take the 4. but he's got to get it good this time. This is a crucial shot. I think he'd be better going 2 rails here rather than trying to baby this in. Yeah, that's a sensible shot. Okay, he's overhit it, but he can now get good on it off this 4 ball, and yeah, he can get good on it off the 4. He's just looking at the line to make sure he doesn't run through and do anything daft, but he's also looking at the combo, so he's well on here. This is not a bad setup. He can easily deal with a 15 ball. That's going in every day of the week. That's not going to be missed. So the run goes to 10. He's 7 points behind, and he can't miss. That's a simple
Potman 66
statement that
wow, this
Bedhead has to live by. And he's gone.
Potman 66. No sound.
Well, you need to turn up the volume then, because the sound's working fine here. You need to unmute your video, Potman. The little cross will be at the volume control on the stream. Well, oh, I think he's okay. He can see the 15, but we've got 2 balls in the pack.
Potman 66. Yet I had muted when I left.
So, is he going to try and get a little brush on one of these balls here? That's surely what he's going to have to be trying. Just a little. He might run through the 2 of them and miss them, but he's going to have to take the risk, unless he's trying to go over the left hand side as we look. Yeah, well, he's tried to get the hit. He's got the hit. He's got a break ball, but that's going to have to go. And the best outcome here would be to hit that 12 and leave the cue ball in the triangle if he could. But it looks as if he's made his mind up. He's going all out for the pot to leave the break shot. And if anything, this is a more difficult shot than the one that he refused, because he's got to have to get good on this 13. Well, all or nothing, folks, and he's overcut it by a country mile, and Bedhead still can't get there. He's 4 points behind, and the only good thing about that is he's left it just as difficult for Tommyue, because he's going to have to pot the break ball unless he wants to risk the bank on the 12 and bring the cue ball back up the table. That would be a big shot. He's trying to get square on this 15. He's gone dead straight, and now he's going to have to pinch a wee bit of angle, try and run around the jaws and come into the pack. That's what he's trying. Well, he's trying something else here. Well, I think he'd have been better going forward and trying just to pinch a little round the angle thing than that shot. But once again, it's only a contribution of 2 from Tommyue.
Hi all.
And now what does Bedhead do? Good evening. Well, Bedhead is in all sorts of trouble here. The 7 ball prevents running to the rail and using the pack, because he's bound to leave the 7 ball on. Is he going to risk going up and down and trying to kick the 7 in? That would be a brave shot. I mean, Tommyue's only 6 away from the match. He might have to actually. Oh no, that'd be a very tall order. He's just played the foul. I think common sense prevailed there. I was getting excited thinking he was going to do something crazy, but he didn't get lured into the trap. So Bedhead on 1 foul. Tommyue on one foul, and something's going to have to give here, and the odds are stacked against Bedhead at the moment because he's nailed into the pack. Well, he's called the 7 ball. Well, I think Bedhead is going to take the bait. Well, this to decide the match, really. All or nothing on this shot. It's a good line. Oh, a beautiful shot. A brave shot. And he's going to have to work fast here because there's not a lot of choice, but at least he's still alive. That's what it was all about. Just keeping yourself in the game, pulling out the kick bank. Well, why he didn't show that bravery earlier on when he had that break shot, I don't know. He might not have been in this position, but he's still got work to do. Is he going to run through, miss the 5 ball, go high up into the middle of the table and use the 5 as a break shot? Because that looks what's on to me. Just run through, get yourself back into the table and play the cut. Well, here we go. And Bedhead is just 3 points behind. Well, this is not as good a finish as the Bedhead Mooncake match, but it's got a lot more tension from the point of view that for the best part of an hour or more, Bedhead's been more or less dead and buried, and he's managed to scrape his way in bits and pieces. He had that 48 run or whatever it was, which was the main reason he got sort of back into it, and then he's almost been out of it. And then we've seen Tommyue play the break shot and scratch, and the scratch we knew was coming. And now Bedhead's taken the kick up and down the table to get the 7, and this is the result of it. He's now into the lead, and now Bedhead is only 6 away, and we've got all 6 balls there available as long as he can get good on this 13 or drop behind the 8 ball one way or another. But that's how he's going to win this match. He's gone a bit too far. He might try it from the short rail and spin into them, or he might just try dropping through and leaving the 8 ball up the table. Oh dear. Well, that's a disaster. An absolute disaster at this stage. Oh well. He's 2 points in the lead. That 8 ball and 2 ball. The 8 ball goes into the top left hand corner pocket as we look. And I bet you we don't see Tommyue trying to break them out. I bet you Tommyue just drops the 13 in and pots the 8 up the table.
Potman 66. Tommy needing a break, tense stuff.
Yeah, Tommyue still needs the break shot in the next rack if he's going to win the match.
Wow. Jeroen van Spronsen. 6 on the table. Tommy needs 7.
Yeah, there's not an ideal break ball, but if he's not dead straight in this 8, he can nudge the 2.
8. Yay.
He can nudge the 2 and he will have the 6 ball. He just has to get it a thin brush and not too heavy. But he's going to have to run the cue ball through to have a shot though. So he's got to risk it. The worst thing that can happen is the 2 ball goes to the rail, and then he can make the cut off the side rail into the pack off the 2 ball So he has to go for this 100%. Oh, what the hell's going on there with Stubb and this Sagener guy? Well, that's now changed the situation because the 2-ball has gone absolutely nowhere I thought it was going to end up. And that's not bad. That is not bad. He's going to come down the right hand side. He's going to leave the cut from the right hand side, the 3, to get into the pack. And he's got a 2-point lead and he's 3 points away from victory.
8. We can't know how we'll win.
Oh, is he going to end up straight? Oh well, Bedhead might still be alive. He's dying breaths here, he's gasping for air, Bedhead. Is he going to have a chance? Because Tommy's going to have to slam this big time. He could lock onto the pack. Has he got a shot? Yes, he has. And so Tommyue is going to crawl over the line with his last breath in this match. And Bedhead is going to kick himself. He's going to be kicking himself. He had the chance on that run. He had that break ball, refused it, played the safety. And then of course he's had another chance. And eventually it's Tommyue that wins the match by 150 points
Master power
to 145.
LOL.
And well, that had all the drama of it, did it not? I think I need a cup of coffee after that one.
Jeroen van Spronsen. Exiting stuff. Thanks for the stream.
Right, let's have a look at the bracket and we'll see what's happened there. Well, Fast Eddie's through. He's going to play LS3. They're playing whenever that is, January the 12th. Popman has won his match against Dirty Harry. He's going to be playing Mr. Bill next. And I think I'm too far down the bracket. And then further up, we've got Snake Eyes against McClarkey, which is tomorrow at 2:30. And then further up from that, we've got Tommyue,
Tommy Pressure,
who
and I need a beer
has
now.
beaten Bedhead, and Tommyue is going to be playing Bankster in the next round. And then we've got tomorrow night as well, we've got the match between what's his name again? Semi-Pro, that's his name, against Mooncake, and that will be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, guys. I hope you can join us. If you're lucky enough, you might be able to join us in the afternoon for the match
Bill
at half 2. And when's that? Ah, right, it's not up in the bracket yet. Right, well, anyway, as long as you don't set it for like 2 o'clock, because the match I'll be watching will be Fast Eddie and LS3.
Sunday evening.
Well, Sunday evening's no good either, because I'll be watching Semi-Pro and Mooncake. It starts at 7, and I'm up at 4 o'clock in the morning on Monday morning, so I won't be going any later than whenever that match finishes. Anyway, that's for another day. Thanks for watching, guys. It's been a good match. That's probably the best match I enjoyed of the tournament, apart from the fact that we had well, Bedhead had his chances. He really is going to kick himself for that. But it was the most enjoyable match of the tournament for that reason. That's what makes it enjoyable. Watching two guys being competitive, trying their hearts out, and Bedhead had his chance, but he never took it. He refused it, and he lives to regret it because he's now out the tournament. And well done to Tommyue, because that run of 94 early in the match puts him right up the scoreboard as far as high runs go. But it was the one that broke the back of the match, really. That's what kept him in front at the end of the day. It was he scored with that big innings, and well done to Tommy, and better luck next time for Bedhead. So I'm off for a coffee, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care, stay safe.
I might play Bannister 11 AM my time.
And I might see you again
Tommy
sometime.
Pressure. Bankster.
Right guys, see you later.